KurmAI is a fintech startup that uses machine learning to gain insights into the market when key events occur. Here you see the team behind KurmAI. We're students from the Technical University of Denmark, and we primarily have backgrounds in computer science, mathematics, and innovation entrepreneurship. Most retail investors cannot beat the market in a given year, and even the ones that can in a given year cannot do so consistently. Therefore, a lot of people, when we do investments, especially retail investors, we look to funds to manage their money. But 9 out of 10 fund managers cannot beat the market in a given year either. Therefore, at KurmAI, we're using event-based stock prediction in order to become the 1 out of 10. So we all met each other last year in a course called XTech at DTU. We actually ended up out of 36 teams, we became finalists, meaning that we're now competing in the finals of the XTech incubator. We got this placement by securing some important partnerships, but also proving that our algorithm as a minimal viable product actually worked at finding patterns that we can trade on. So we're now going to explain what our product actually is. The events that we're specifically focusing on in coding are when stock exchange announcements are made. So this usually happens when a company has some information that they're required by law to make public. This could, for example, be in December, we saw that Novo Nordisk came out with the news that they had supply challenges, and they're required by law to make this public and adjust the targets. So we actually saw that immediately there was a price drop in the market because it was a negative event. So what happens is that we, the investors, we have to reassess the underlying equity value of the company corresponding to the events that came out. And we see this immediate short-term price adjustment that can be positive or negative depending on the sentiment of the event. So what we do at KurmAI is we use deep learning models in order to encode these events and make automatic predictions that happens in a matter of milliseconds of whether or not to buy or short this stock. So we're going to show you a little bit of our tech right here. This is the algorithm that we trained in the XTech course. It's able to identify events that are positive, so it looks into the language used by some of these reports. Here it finds 29 disclosures in a matter of weeks that were actually positive, and when we look at the returns we actually get back, we see that roughly 2/3 of them make money, and the ones that make money make quite a bit more than the ones that don't make money. So proving this, we won XTech, and we are now going on to make a business. So this is our business model. We are creating a fully data-driven hedge fund. We're doing this by scraping the disclosures coming from the stock exchange. We run them through a language model which is trained in order to understand sentiment, and we pair that together with quantitative data on the company. And we use both in order to aid our predictions, which give us a signal of whether or not to buy. Once we get that signal, we can invest people's money on the stock market. So since we're a fund, we pool investors' money together, invest in the stock market, and the returns are given back to our investors. Of course, we charge some fees along the way. We charge a management fee and a performance fee, which is standard in this industry. Since we are a fully data-driven company, we're actually able to undercut the market on the fee. Usually in Europe, you see around a 1.2% management fee, but since we don't have the overhead of a team of analysts working for us, we can actually set a 0.6% management fee, meaning that we're considerably cheaper. At KurmAI, we also have some goals and values. Our first being that we want there to be no barrier to entry in entering our fund. Now, the most AI algorithms that we see now, the sophisticated ones, most lay people that are investing cannot just invest in these funds. They're usually hedge funds where there's a high barrier to entry, so you need to be a financially accredited person with millions in your investments to even enter these funds. But our goal and our values is that everyone should be able to invest in our funds, such that we democratize AI on the stock market. On top of that, we also actually want to invest in companies that have a positive impact on the world. This means that we can start blacklisting companies that are, for example, not focusing on the ESG goals. That's all from behalf of KurmAI. We are applying for this micro grant in order to purchase more data so that we can make an even better model, and also to get better computing resources. Thank you for your time and consideration.